Hey YouTube, I was recently asked, why did I fall from Christianity? See, I used to be religious. I bought into everything. My denomination was Christian Baptist. Later, I was a Lutheran. Then I moved into non-denominational. I have read the Bible cover to cover about 6 times. Everything in there. Not missing a beat. One time I'd read it, I'd understand it one way. Another time I'd read it, I'd understand things a different way. Many times I'd read it and I still understood different things the same way. And I never questioned any of it. I was saved back when I was around, I want to say about 91 or so, 1990, 91. Around 15 or so years old. 14 or 15 years old. And I believed it. I believed in the crucifixion. I believed in the resurrection. I was saved. I was baptized. It didn't. Something started bothering me probably 2 or 3 months after being baptized in the early 90s. And what bothered me was, why is it when I'm hearing everybody else talking about and they're hearing God speak to them, why don't I hear God? This was my first problem that I started having. I accepted everything up until this. Just starting to think about it one day. Why am I not hearing God like someone sitting on my shoulder right next to me, cheering me on or telling me I'm doing right, telling me I'm doing wrong? Well, I'm not hearing a voice. They say they're speaking to him or to them, and I'd go up and I'd ask, "Do you actually hear God?" And a lot of them are like, "Yes, I hear him," as if he was standing right there and I can have a conversation. I cannot see him, but I can have a conversation with God. It's like I'm having a problem. I can't do that. So then they would feed me a lot more scripture, guilt me up a bit. Maybe my faith isn't strong enough, and I keep trying. Maybe my faith's not strong enough. That's my problem. My faith isn't strong enough. I've been doing it for years and years and years, but my faith ain't strong enough. Even though I believed wholeheartedly, I'm gonna die and sit up there with God, and all. Now, there's going to be some Christians out here going, yeah, this guy definitely, it's going to turn into one of those, I'm an atheist because I'm angry at God. I'm going to get into that in a minute. So, then I would hear some Christians talk about, well, no, you don't actually hear him like you hear me standing next to you. It's more like a quiet voice in your head, kind of like your conscience. It's like, okay. So I would sit there and I would, in my prayers, I would just imagine, okay, God, speak to me. I have faith in you, God. Talk to me. Let me know what your will is. What do you want from me? What is my purpose? And I would do this again and again and again. And I would quiet my mind, and still there'd be nothing. So my questions are, God, why won't you talk to me? What have I done wrong? I've tried to follow your rules. I've read the book. I love Jesus for what he did for me. Still, there was no voice. He wouldn't talk to me. And I would bring this up, and I would get told the same stuff. You're just not believing strong enough. So I'd go back and I'd read more, and I'd try even harder. And I would pray and pray and pray. Dear God, your book, the divinely inspired book, your teachings, tell me that if, asking ye shall receive. What I'm asking from you, Lord, is please tell me what your purpose is for me. And I would wait. No answers would come. Nothing outside of my mind. Nothing I could distinguish as anything else. And I started learning more about the actual history of the Bible. What am I doing wrong? So I dove in further and made a lot of really interesting discoveries that had me start questioning, is this real? Is this real? So in reading, I ended up learning about atheism. It's like, well, why wouldn't you believe? And at this point, I still believed. And they would tell me reasons why they did not. And that would make sense. It's like, okay, I understand, but I'll still pray for you. I'll pray for you. And I did. And I prayed for them. And I continued on with this farce for a good chunk of my young life. Get into 17 or so. And it's not that once I completely fell out of religion that I automatically started turning to crime, because that's not it. And I'm not going to pretend that I'm a person who had gone to church all the time, because I didn't. But I still believed, and I still had faith. And I still had problems. And in the end, I saw people who believed as well as people who did not believe still on the same line, same sides of success and failure at equal proportions. And it's like, well, religion was true. Wouldn't I expect to see a higher rate of, just in my friends, because it would pretty much split? Why am I not seeing that, people who don't believe just automatically being way down low on all their luck and stuff? Why is that? That didn't make sense to me. How could they be blessed if they didn't believe? And how can people who believe not be blessed with some things? We're talking about hungry families. Why aren't they being blessed? Then it occurred to me, you see, that the atheists are right. They're not being blessed because there's no one there to bless them. And it carries on and on and on to where finally we led to the day where it was, this is ridiculous. There is no good reason to believe that there is a super omnipotent being controlling everything, and that he is going to reward like he says he does in the Bible, and that he is going to speak to you like he says he does in the Bible, and that all prayers will be answered. The reason that those prayers weren't answered, the reason there was no one speaking to me, because he doesn't exist. There's no real valid reason to believe that he does exist. My studies continued on all the way even into the present, learning more about religion. Religion as far as, let's see here now, I've checked out Scientology, Christianity. About the Christianity denominations I've really looked into are Lutheran, Baptist, non-denominational, are the three biggest that I've done, which is funny, with non-denominational is still a denomination. And I noticed that a lot of them are so close that they might as well still be called the same exact denomination. I think it's really kind of goofy. To this date, I accepted without any evidence whatsoever when I was much, much younger. Now I demand proof. Till then, I will not believe. Actual, testable proof. Somehow magic, that's my story. I'll talk to you all later.